Onyx Storm is finally out, and whether you loved it or it left you with a million questions, you cannot deny the power of the Empyrean series.
Today we're going to do a quick book review of Onyx Storm, and then we're going to look at the 4 biggest lessons authors can learn from Rebecca Yarros about how to write a blockbuster series. So Onyx Storm is the 3rd book in a 5-book series, right?
It is. And it starts off right at the cliffhanger that they left us with Iron Flame. And Violet Sorrengail is facing down the challenge, even bigger challenges than she faced in the first 2 books. In fact, she has to try to figure out how to save Xaden from the choices that he made. The story sends our crew of dragon riders far beyond the walls of Navarre. And so they're looking for ancient secrets and new allies and maybe, just maybe, that cure for Xaden.
So this book has the spice factor and the language warning that Angie gave in the review of the 4th wing. So be ready for that.
I mean, these are war-toughened dragon riders. So they are facing down life and death situations on the regular. And so there is violence and there is language. I mean, this is a very...
It's a war, right?
It's a war. And so if you have read 4th Wing, you will know what to expect, but you are forewarned.
If you haven't watched the video on the 4th wing, there's a link down below. But Angie, tell us, overall, what's your opinion of Onyx Storm?
Well, Onyx Storm is complicated and much darker, but it does a fantastic job of expanding the world and the lore of the story. But it isn't perfect. The pacing is a little lopsided. It's very dense and info-heavy in the first half, and then it flips it on its head, and it's fast and action-packed in the second half. If you fell in love with 4th Wing for its really fast-paced life-or-death situations at Besgaiath, this book is going to feel a little bit different. But it's a classic middle series book. It sets up and builds the story and the world that the story takes place in.
It's pretty ambitious, isn't it?
It is very ambitious, but it really sets the stage for the rest of the series.
If you haven't read Onyx Storm yet, there's a link down below where you can get it and all 3 books, so check that out. So let's break down the 4 biggest lessons we can learn about writing a series like this. And this is really timely for us because we are in the process of our 2nd book coming out. So we've done the last meeting with the editor, we're finishing that up. We have picked the cover for the Hunted, and so we're right in the middle of this. So this is really applicable to where we're at, and if you're writing a series, you want to kind of think this through a little bit because there's really some good insights here.
Lesson 1 is expand your world building gradually. Now, 4th Wing was brilliant because it was so contained. We were locked inside Besgaiath with Violet, and we were learning the rules of survival right alongside her.
It was pretty focused and intense, wasn't it?
Yes. Onyx Storm is a masterclass in how to expand your world and make it feel earned. Rebecca Yarros doesn't just tell us about these distant islands, she takes us there. By sending Violet on a quest to these islands, she introduces new political systems, new cultures, and dangers that have only been hinted to before.
The lesson here for authors is huge. Don't throw your whole world at the reader in the first book. Take your time. Use the first book to set the stage, make it really interesting, keep it kind of tight, and then as you release new books, you can expand, kind of pull the camera back a little bit so they get a bigger and bigger view of the world and how it works.
I mean, you can introduce new cultures and new continents, and the world gets bigger and bigger. And what this does is it keeps the reader engaged. It keeps them curious to know what's on the horizon, what's going to be in the next book.
Now, if you want to master this, you want to throw in just little bits and pieces along the way to foreshadow what's coming, but don't reveal it. Keep it a little bit of a secret. Now, lesson 2 may seem a little bit simple, but it gets overlooked a lot. A protagonist that doesn't change, doesn't grow, is the fastest way to kill a long-standing series. When a reader picks up your book and they want to get invested in your series, they want to see a protagonist who grows, changes, and develops. If they don't have growth, people are going to put the books down.
Violet Sorrengail is a perfect example of this. She isn't the sickly scribe that she was in Fourth Wing. Now she's a strong leader making impossible choices. Like, for example, when she tells Andarna to leave to be with her own kind, she thinks it's for the best, and so she's making those tough calls. Yarros also doesn't let us forget Violet's chronic pain. That pain really puts her incredible journey into a very human perspective, makes her feel so real. Even the side characters have moments of emotional depth and make them feel like real people.
As an author, you have to let your characters evolve. You have to show their mental, emotional, physical scars from the previous books and periodically remind people of those things so that they connect with that character as they move forward and evolve and change as the book progresses. This evolution really builds an investment from your reader because they want to see how the character changes and evolves, but they more importantly, want to see who the character becomes as the stories unfold.
Lesson 3 is all about pacing. Now, the pacing in Onyx Storm, it feels very deliberate. And some people have said that they didn't like the slowness of the first half, but Rebecca Yarros really uses the exposition-heavy first half of the book to build the foundation for the rest of the story, to build a foundation for the fast pace and the action. This is what makes the explosive, fast-paced action and emotional climaxes of the second half feel so earned and powerful. She also brilliantly interjects humor and witty banter.
I like witty banter.
You do.
Now, see, we got to spice this video up with some witty banter. Come on.
And what that does...
Did I throw you off?
Yes, a little bit. What that does is it provides a release from the dark things in the book and it keeps the reader from having reader burnout.
The lesson here is to become the conductor of your own story's rhythm. So you're in charge of this, right? And you need to relax with the slow pace, sometimes monotonous world building. I mean, don't get too drug into it, but relax with it a little bit. Allow that, because that's an investment for the faster paced action scenes that will really take your book and blow it up, make it a bestseller.
Vary your pacing on purpose. Now, you want to follow up an epic battle scene with a quiet moment of contemplation and grief.
Or you could use some humor to cut through the despair.
This is true. What that does is it creates an epic, dynamic reading experience for the reader and keeps them hooked from beginning to end.
It makes it a whole lot more like real life. I mean, real life isn't a fairy tale. There's ups, there's downs, there's moments of grief, and then there's somebody that throws in some kind of weird humor and makes you mad. Lesson 4 is critical for authors. You must constantly raise the stakes in your series.
Now, Fourth Wing is about surviving this dragon school, and Iron Flame is about uncovering the conspiracy, and Onyx Storm is about staring into the abyss. Yarros is a master at raising the stakes in each book. The Venin army is much stronger, the political world is dangerous, and the missions that they have to go on are deadlier. But it's the internal stakes that Yarros displays that makes her writing absolutely powerful. Xaden isn't just in physical danger. His very soul is on the line.
His soul?
Yes, and this is forcing Violet...
His soul is on the line?
...to question what love and sacrifice really means.
We all need to question what that is.
Well, we do, but
this is way more intense.
The central... the central question of their central relationship, the romance, it's not just a forbidden romance anymore. It's really a romance that's being torn apart by this really life-altering secret that Xaden is hiding from her.
At the end of every chapter, you should just stop and ask yourself, how can I make this worse for my hero? I need to make it more intense. I need to complicate their life. I need to make this more challenging for them at every level. It needs to be more emotionally challenging as well as physically challenging so that you can draw out more of the internal conflict and the internal change that's occurring. You can do this on a character level and you can do it on a plot level, but you've always got to keep raising the stakes as you move forward, because that's what's going to really engage your reader and draw them in, not just to the middle of the book, but clear through the end of it.
Onyx Storm is ambitious and emotionally charged, and it really sets the stage for the finale of the Empyrean saga. For readers, this is a thrilling, heartbreaking story, but for writers, it is a masterclass on how to take a story and a story concept and turn it into a sprawling, unforgettable story.
So what do you think? What was your biggest takeaway from Onyx Storm? Did you love it? Did you learn something from it? We would love to have you share in the comments below, and maybe we missed something. So tell us what you think. And if you like this type of content that we're doing, maybe a book review and then some lessons, put a like in there, let us know, drop us a comment. Thanks for watching.